Hello and welcome to myfinancesteacher.org. A lot is happening at the end of this week, and I want to talk about it, specifically in relation to crude oil. As you see on the chart, crude oil today dropped by a couple of dollars. Let's see what's happening and what might happen over the next several weeks. Well, first of all, the reason for this drop in crude oil price is a stream of negative news in economic terms over the last couple of days. China, as you see, is struggling economically a little bit. US jobs data is really terrible. German industries are not doing well either. And ECB mentioned yesterday that economic outlook for Europe continues to be weak. So a stream of relatively bad news over there, and even then, crude oil has lost just about a couple of dollars, which is not that much in my opinion. It could have been worse. So what's going to happen over the next several weeks? In one of my previous videos, I mentioned that we might have seen the daily cycle in crude oil finish within about 49 days between December last year and middle of February. However, as I mentioned last time, 49 days is a bit on the short side for a daily cycle in crude oil, which generally lasts for about a couple of months. So another possibility is that we had not finished the daily cycle and we are still going to see the daily cycle finish with some sort of a low. In that case, we would be on day 74 or so in the current daily cycle, which is a bit on the long side, but it's not extraordinarily long. So that is also a possibility. So if we have not seen the end of this daily cycle yet, and we are going to see some sort of a low relatively soon, then here is my outlook for crude oil. There is some support zone near 150-day moving averages at about $54, $53 or so. If we're going to see some sort of a discernible low over the next several days, I think that support might be broken as it is already very close to where the price is at the moment. Then where that low might take us? Well, a 50% Fibonacci retracement is a likely further support zone where we might finally see this daily cycle finish. After a decline like that, I would expect a nice rally, probably somewhere towards $60 per barrel. And I would expect this rally because I think we are still in an advancing phase of an intermediate cycle. On the other hand, if we have seen the low of a daily cycle in mid-February, then over the next couple of days, even if crude oil continues to decline, the price might bounce up from this support zone at 100 or at 50-day moving average and continue its ascent, probably towards that $60 resistance zone and the 200-day moving average. After all, if we are in a new daily cycle since the middle of February, then it is still young and still can give us some upward momentum. But after reaching that $60 price range, I would expect some sort of a decline into the daily cycle low. And if that happens somewhere in the middle of April, that would give us a couple of months for this daily cycle between middle of February and middle of April. To be honest, I'm really not sure which of these scenarios is more likely. So I would give it a 50-50 chance at the moment. So what's my strategy? This in front of us is USO. In my portfolio, USO currently accounts for around 7% of the capital, and I only have around 9% of cash. So a strategy that I think I'm going to follow is if I see USO and crude oil drop below, say, 50-day moving average, I might sell that USO ETF. However, in that case, I would be looking forward to buy it relatively soon after that. Because, as I mentioned before, I think crude oil is still in an advancing phase of a larger intermediate cycle, and I don't really want to miss the move upwards. I might even consider just holding on to the USO shares over the next several days. On the other hand, over the next couple of days, if I see that USO and crude oil drops a little bit more down to that 50-day moving average and bounces up relatively strongly from that support level, I might consider adding a little bit more either into USO or some of the oil producers. So that's what I think on crude oil at the moment. What do you guys think about it? Give me your suggestions in the comments. Give me the thumbs up as well, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Remember, this is just my opinion, not investment advice, but I do wish you luck in your